Welcome to the PA is In, the show created by PAs for PAs, where codependency with your supervising physician is a thing of the past, optimal team practice is the future, and physician associate has taken the place of physician assistant as the professional title of choice. I'm Tracy Bingaman, and I'm obsessed with redefining what success as a PA looks like and what it feels like. Here you'll find the mindset shifts, systems, and processes I use to escape healthcare burnout and integrate my work into my life. Work-life balance is a myth, and an integrated life where you thrive professionally, not a balancing act, is the goal here. My mission is to help you to grow into a unicorn PA who loves their job, has abundant energy, time to spare, and work-optional financial freedom. The PA is in. Have you ever wondered exactly what is happening behind the scenes at the American Academy of Physician Associates, or wondered about some of the lesser known benefits to membership of the AAPA? Well, today on the podcast, we have Kelsey King and Laura Burch. They both work at the AAPA, and they're going to share some of the exciting new developments, projects, and services that membership of the AAPA gets you access to. Without further ado, here they are. Kelsey and Laura, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Awesome. If you guys could just take a minute to tell us who you are and what you do, then we'll get into some of these topics.
Sounds good. Well, I can kick us off. My name is Laura Burch. I'm a Senior Director of Membership Products and Experience at AAPA. And what that means is I'm really responsible for making sure that the different offerings AAPA provides members are of value and interest to PAs in supporting their careers. And I've been at AAPA 10 years and have a 15-year career history in association management, as well as a few years in research before that. And my background is in economics and marketing. So happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, I'll jump in next. Hey, everyone. My name is Kelsey King. I'm the Assistant Director of Career Products and Services here at AAPA. I've been in my role for about 4 years, also coming from an association background. And really, my role is focused on Career Central, which is the area of the AAPA.org website that we really think about as our home base for the resources, the information, the tools that PAs at every step of their career journey need to really navigate that journey successfully. So I hope you'll check that out.
Awesome. So we have not had an episode where we're sort of peeling back the curtain and talking about the people and the organization that is AAPA. It's something that's super fascinating to me because the average consumer sort of knows probably vaguely that there are people working to make these things come out that we enjoy in terms of membership benefits and collaborations. So I'm excited for you guys to share with us some of the things that the AAPA is working on. So one of those new things is the new PA Job Source, which I sort of think about after attending the conference and seeing it as it was launching last year, is like the Zillow of PA job opportunities. So tell us about the PA Job Source and what people can find there.
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in on that one. So yeah, you've got it exactly right. We like to call it the Zillow of job opportunities as well. And we relaunched PA Job Source back in May, just before conference of this year, 2024. And for those who aren't familiar, it's a members only job search platform. And we've had a job platform in the past, but this is really radically different than anything that we've offered our members in the past, and really different than anything I've seen offered to PAs as they navigate that job search experience. And the reason why we call it the Zillow of jobs is because just like Zillow, which includes houses throughout the country, not just houses that are currently being sold, but all houses, the PA Job Source platform includes nearly 50,000 PA employers. Our goal is to grow the map, and it's map-based. The goal is really to grow the map so that it features nearly every PA employer. Mm-hmm. And our goal here is that we don't just want to connect you with current opportunities like every other job board you've ever used. Of course, we want to do that. And the map does that. But we also want to help you understand the full PA employment landscape so you can make educated decisions about what's right for you. So for example, you can go to X community and look that up on the map and see there are this many employers who have hired PAs in the past. These are their names. These are the specialties they've hired in the past. And then beyond that, you're learning about what the landscape looks like, but we're also connecting you directly with those employers, creating pathways of communication to any PA employer, regardless of hiring status, so that you can send a direct message and say, hey, I'm interested in this position. Please consider me. Here's my application. But you can also say, hey, I don't see any openings right now, but I would love to work for you. Can I ask you a question or two about what that might look like and what opportunities might be coming down the pipeline? You can also follow employers, which is something that I have never seen before. And that enables you to stay up to date, get an alert every time an employer that you're interested in has a new opportunity or something changes on their profile, which I think is really cool. So it's really just about connecting our members, because it is a members only platform, with the information they need to make really educated decisions, and then empowering them to really take their career into their own hands by creating those pathways of communication with employers.
I was so excited to hear that AAPA had upgraded their signature job board, PA Job Source, into an interactive map-based system that allows you to literally zoom into your targeted geographic region and communicate directly with PA employers. The PA Job Source map connects you to the entire landscape of PA jobs. They've got 50,000 PA employers and counting. You can follow a geographic market or employer site and receive alerts when new jobs are posted. You can even send a DM to that employer you've had your eye on for months. But here's the best news. PA Job Source is still completely free to AAPA members. Log in today to map out your future at aapa.org/PA Job Source. Yeah, it seems to be so much more rich than simply job listings. Like, as you're talking about that, I'm thinking there's one organization that's probably just outside the commuting range for me, but that I would go to for a specific job in a specific specialty. And I'm thinking as soon as we hang up, I'm going to go follow them, right? I'm going to go look and just see what they have, because someday, that might be something that's on the horizon for me. And just being able to say, like, this is the type of positions I've seen them hiring for, like a little light cyber stalking of what they're doing, like that seems like a good move.
Yeah, that is 100% exactly how I hope people are using this site, not just when they're in an active job search. Of course, if you're in an active job search, it's a great place to turn to. But even if you're happy with where you are, PA Job Source allows you to create such targeted search parameters that it really can help connect you with that dream position down the road that might be 2 or 3 even stages ahead. So I would definitely encourage anybody to go to the map, type in your city, your state, your zip code, or a city, state, or zip code that you hope to work in one day. Set parameters like work setting, employment type, specialty. Narrow down that search. See who those employers are, right? Get that information. And then you can follow those employers individually, or you can actually drag and drop a little box around your preferred market and follow that whole market down to the street level, right? Like this is where I want to work. This is where I don't want to work, and get those notifications for the employers that are of interest to you. You can even opt into automatically sharing your information with the employers in those preferred markets so that they come to you. And again, you can kind of control what that job search looks like.
Yeah, this seems like such a great tool where you're actively growing your network on purpose. And we are big on career strategy here, so that you're thinking 2 steps ahead and that it's getting those creative juices flowing. And, say you see an employer, but you don't see a position, like then you can go and seek out people who work there and like ask them, do they like it? It just gives you, it's so much more targeted than saying, on the internet, like, do I know anyone who works in gastroenterology, right? You're going to search out like on LinkedIn or some other platform, people who work at this specific organization in a role that you want, and it gives you the opportunity to then connect with them further.
Absolutely. And one other cool feature that I just love to highlight is our map layers. And again, this is all about connecting you with more information. So as you're typing in your preferred location, as you're narrowing down by work setting and specialty, you can also add map layers to the map to change your view. And these are things like average compensation for the community, cost of living adjusted compensation, gross rent, median home price, all of that really key information that traditionally you might have Google Maps open as you're doing your job search, or you might have the AAPA salary report open as you're considering a potential job or location change. We're putting that all in one location so you can make really informed decisions and kind of understand what you're getting into as you're considering a job or location change.
Yeah, so valuable. I can remember as a new PA, I was thinking about relocating, and I had this window with 30 tabs open of like looking for apartments and looking for jobs and like what is the cost of living in this state where I've never lived before and how would it compare? It just sounds like you guys have consolidated a lot of that information, and especially if you're thinking of relocating, but really any change you're thinking of making, that this would be a great resource for that.
Totally.
Awesome. So as I'm thinking about that, and as I think about what it was like to be that new graduate, that newer provider, I think about how I really could have used a mentor helping me along the way. Mentorship, so important in our field, so important in professional development. I'd love to hear your take on what the AAPA is doing to help promote and connect mentors and mentees. It can feel when you're practicing medicine like you're in a silo, like you're just, going in, seeing patients, you're in your office and you're not really connected with other PAs.
Yeah, I love that question, Tracy, because I think you articulated a challenge shared by a lot of new PAs, as you mentioned, or PAs at any step in your career, making a change, looking to get into a new area of practice. And we do have an AAPA members only online community called Huddle. And one of the core features of Huddle is two different mentoring programs. We have a traditional mentoring program. So if you're looking for some ongoing advice from a peer or someone maybe a step ahead of you in their career as a PA, you can fill out a quick enrollment form and then find a match and connect with someone who is willing to support you as you're navigating your career. And on the flip side, we also have a shorter term ad hoc based mentoring program we just launched this fall. It's called Mentor Match Chat. And this is more for quick opportunities where you might be seeking some feedback, maybe a quick phone call from someone to look at your PA school application if you're a pre-PA getting into the profession for the first time, or maybe spend a few minutes helping you prep for your first interview, or spending a little time talking to you about navigating a transition between specialties. So we have two different facets of mentoring that are very helpful to you, whether or not you're looking to commit the time in developing an ongoing relationship with someone in a more traditional mentoring fashion, or if you just have a quicker ad hoc ask that you'd like some support from a member of AAPA. Both of those opportunities are found on our online community platform in an area called Mentor Match. And the new Mentor Match Chat, this ad hoc service, has been going really well. People are using it. It's very easy to use. You don't have to enroll at all. It's really just a matter of logging in, posting your question with a particular tag. Mm-hmm. The hashtag is Ask a Mentor. And we have a couple of what we call mentors on standby. So people who are tapped and ready to help answer these kind of ad hoc requests for the next few months. And you'll see you'll see the mentors on standby rotate over time as we cycle in some new voices to get some new people online and ready for support.
Yeah, that's great. Now, if there are listeners who are thinking, hey, how do I become one of those mentors? How do I become the person who they're getting matched with or the person who's answering some of those questions? Is that an opportunity that's available to members as well?
Absolutely. And, I often think PAs can be a little shy to sign up in that role, but honestly, even early career PAs, if you're willing to spend a little time supporting a student as they're transitioning and graduating, or willing to help a pre-PA as they're working on their application, there's a role for PAs at every career stage to contribute as a mentor. So don't be turned off by that vocabulary. You have expertise to offer. So I would highly encourage anyone at any career stage that is willing to give a little of their time to help a peer to sign up as a mentor. And it's the same location you would go to seek help. You can also just choose the option to enroll as a mentor and offer your support. And then based on how you've enrolled and what you put as your expertise and areas that you're willing to support in, someone can then ping and ask you to be their mentor. And the whole relationship is really up to people to define for themselves. So you can define the cadence of how you'd like to meet. If you want to meet more frequently, less frequently. Certainly, all of us are more familiar with virtual platforms these days. So it's nice that you could connect and find a mentor on the other side of the country. It doesn't have to just be someone locally in your area. But if that's important to you, you could certainly search within your local region as well and focus on someone that might be available for in-person meetups. But I do find that when you're willing to potentially take on a mentorship with someone, maybe not in your hometown city, you might have more luck in finding a match just because there'll be more opportunities for you.
Yeah, for sure. I precept students at our office, and we have PA students that are in pretty much every Friday morning. And it definitely does take time and energy to invest in that and to have them come in the room with me and see patients. But also, I definitely find it to be a energizing endeavor, and like it's very worthwhile in terms of it's an even energy exchange. Like they leave and I'm much more excited about my job than when before they came. And so, you don't have to have everything figured out. Speaking as someone who gets behind this microphone on a weekly basis and says, "Hey, here's some advice," but also says like, "I don't know everything about everything. I am just, maybe a couple of steps ahead of you on this journey. Maybe I'm, alongside you," that you don't have to sort of have arrived at the mecca of work-life balance and career fulfillment to sign up to be a mentor, that you can do it at any stage for sure.
Yeah, I love that advice. And I think to that point too, Tracy, I think of giving as really receiving as well. You don't think about how much benefit you're going to get out of giving your time when you volunteer to help someone else, but all the psychology, shows that you get as much, if not more, out of offering your time and helping someone out. So I think people underestimate the amount of joy they're going to get from that experience. So definitely encourage you, if you've thought about it and aren't sure, maybe this year ahead is the time to offer a little bit of your time to support someone else. And I'm willing to bet that you'll really enjoy that experience.
You might not know this about me, but one of my most despised tasks as a clinician is charting. That's why I'm always searching for hacks, tools, and tactics to make charting more accurate, efficient, and less of a huge pain in the butt. If you too want to spend more time connecting with your patients and less time pointing, clicking, and typing into their chart, you should definitely check out Freed AI. Freed AI is a medical scribe on a mission to free clinicians everywhere from the purgatory that is writing notes. Freed AI listens, transcribes, and writes your medical documentation for you. You can even use the code PA50 for $50 off your first month with Freed AI. These notes are written in your style and done for you by the end of the visit. Can you imagine what it would feel like to leave work on time, notes done, without having to crack your laptop open in the evening? Freed is HIPAA compliant, completely secure, and it takes less than 30 seconds to learn. Get back to what you love doing, treating your patients, and let Freed AI do the rest. So alongside PA Job Source and this mentorship program, I think that there are a lot of benefits to being an AAPA member that are little known, that they're sort of these like hidden gems that people might be members and might not be utilizing or might not know that exist as a benefit of belonging to the AAPA. Could you tell us about some of those things?
Sure. And I think I'll start actually with the two areas that I think PAs talk about the most. When I mention AAPA to them and what kind of value or member services we offer, the two things I hear back in response most often are, one, the CME opportunities. And certainly AAPA has an abundance of those, not just in person at our events throughout the year, but we have a wonderful online portal called Learning Central with over 400 activities that you can take on your own time to stay up to date with your credentials. And then the other thing I hear most commonly is advocacy, which of course is core to AAPA's mission. We have a wonderful department that works towards modernizing PA legislation to ensure that PAs can really practice to the full scope of their training and experience. And in addition to just the work our advocacy team does, we also have a number of resources. As you and Kelsey have discussed earlier today, we've integrated some of that information in the new PA Job Source and some layers to help you understand what the market is like in terms of the job experience. And in the future, we'll be looking at integrating perhaps more information from our advocacy resources, like the state maps that help you understand what the practice laws are in the state that you practice or are about to practice in. So I think the advocacy resources sometimes are a little lesser known. But beyond those two, CME and advocacy, we have a lot of community resources and career resources, which I think are sometimes lesser known. We've touched on one of them already, the PA Job Source, but Kelsey here manages our online portal called Career Central. So I'll actually let her chime in for a moment and share a little bit about what the broader array of career resources we have to offer include.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for kicking that to me, Laura. So Career Central, like I said at the top, it's really our home base for information, resources you need to navigate every step of your career journey. And that includes articles that are published on the website with experts like Tracy. That includes live webinars that you can catch live or watch the replay of on Career Central, and also pre-recorded videos. Topics really range from the beginning of your PA journey. Could be topics like how to craft a personal statement for PA school, through PA school, how to get the most out of your clinical rotations and treat each rotation like an interview, how to really manage the drinking from the fire hose experience of your didactic year, through early career, all the way through retirement. We hope that we are connecting you with the support that you need to navigate transitions and to really master those soft skills that are so important. Patient communication, relationship building with colleagues, really all of it. And the last thing I'll say is we have a library of 200 members only resources on Career Central, but we want to grow that. And we add at least a dozen new resources every year. So if you are going to Career Central and you're not seeing what you're looking for, please let us know. There's a little submission form right there. We are very open to developing new content that meets your needs. And we're also always looking for volunteers who have expertise that they're willing to share. So don't hesitate to let us know if you're not seeing what you need, because we really want to make sure that it's there for you.
Yeah, there are so many things that, looking back on my career, I remember when I first was hired, I was the first PA to do surgery at this small community hospital. And I had to submit a credentialing form, and I had to write up a written agreement for my state because they had one for emergency medicine, but they didn't have one for surgery. And looking back, I should have looked harder for resources because I just made it up. I did not have any idea what I was doing. And I thought, well, I'm the first, so I'm going to write things I think they might want me to do. And looking back, there was definitely a much more efficient way to do that by leveraging some. And I was a member. I just didn't think to search on the AAPA for that. I think I was like Googling it, but the internet is too wide of a place for me to have found something helpful at that time.
Yeah, it can be really overwhelming, and it can even be overwhelming searching the website, right? You don't know where to look. So Career Central is a great place to start. And you can also always reach out to our customer care team for support. People do that all the time, so don't be shy about that. Send an email saying, hey, I'm navigating the credentialing process and I really need help. Do you have anything for me? We'll point you to the resource that we have for you.
Yeah, for sure. I think that a lot of people see membership in a professional organization or association as a passive thing. Like, oh, I re-upped my membership. Now I'm a member for another year. Maybe they're utilizing the CME, but that it's not something that they're like thinking about as the primary resource for some of these things. So I hope that this episode will serve as a reminder to like go look at the discounts and the partnerships and the collaborations that exist in these resources, because they are there and you're paying for them as a member. So you might as well leverage those benefits.
Yeah. And just like you said, Tracy, too, if you're navigating, looking for support in a certain area, just want to remind folks too that our online community is a great place to ask peers for support and resources and guidance, and know that your responses are from verified PAs in this professional association. So it does bear that level of authenticity of someone who's been through that experience. And I think our latest statistic has an average of 4 replies for every question that we get on the community. So it's a vibrant community. If you have a question that you want to ask to your peer community at AAPA, the average question gets 4 responses. So that's wonderful. People are willing to help out. And if they don't know the exact answer, oftentimes people will direct you to resources at other places to get the answer to your question. So I think, if we don't have a particular career resource that addresses the exact topic you're looking for, a good second step is to go to the community and post your question there. And I'd be willing to bet you'd get some responses that will help you navigate that challenge.
Yeah. And I would, as someone who exists in a lot of these forums and spaces, say that the quality of those responses inside the huddle is definitely different than on some of the other forums because it's vetted people, right? It's not, no one's going to have a membership or belong to this community unless they are one of us in terms of credentialing and practicing and having experience. And that changes the quality of the responses. They're much more accurate. They're much more professional and respectful than you see in some other platforms. So I definitely think that that's a positive in terms of the community.
That's great to hear that that's been your experience. That's how we see it too. And we think it's a wonderful place to engage with peers, ask for support, or offer support too.
Yeah. So I would love it if you guys could speak to the listener who is a practicing PA, but who hasn't ever or doesn't currently belong to the AAPA. What are they missing? Why should they consider joining? Why does this matter at all?
Sure. Well, I think there's a lot of good reasons to be a part of AAPA. We talked about some of the key values being CME and advocacy. And really, those I think are essential to our value as an organization and what we can do to support PAs. So, CME, for instance, we have new CME released monthly, even weekly. Every level of membership as a PA includes a variety of CME. For instance, we have a JAPA journal, the post-test CME that comes out every month and is worth 2 credits a month. We also have podcasts we're releasing regularly from JAPA as well. So in terms of staying up to date with your clinical credentials, we have CME included at every level of membership that will help you stay up to date and current. And from the advocacy side, we really want to support the PA profession and ensure it's as successful as it can be in supporting patients in our healthcare system. And being a part of AAPA, having members support that advocacy agenda is really essential to us making a difference in that respect. But above and beyond those two areas, I think, as I mentioned, community and career resources are another really important element of membership that I think people don't always take into account as much when they're considering being a part of AAPA. Having a community of peers that you can tap into, having a network of resources that can help you along every career step is something very important to any professional in any career. And I think those are some areas that AAPA has some wonderful resources on. The other area I'll touch on is just publications and staying up to date with professional news. We have a wonderful team that publish information, and a lot of that goes out in our biweekly newsletters. The clinical information comes out in our monthly journal, JAPA. But if you want to hear what's happening in the profession, just to stay current and understand what's going on with PAs and with healthcare at large, and stay connected with your peers, learn about fascinating stories from PAs who are working in interesting facets of the profession that you may not have heard of. It's a wonderful way to just stay inspired and motivated around this wonderful profession that we're here to support.
Yeah, for sure. Kelsey, do you have anything to add to that?
I don't. I think Laura summed that up perfectly.
Yeah, it is. I was sort of, this is such a strange story, but I was sort of forced to become a member as a student because I was on the Challenge Bowl team. So my school, I think they must have paid for it. I don't know what the fee for student membership was back then, but I was in the Challenge Bowl, so I was a member back then and have maintained my membership since then. And I honestly can't imagine going without it. Like I do the JAPA CME religiously, like every time one comes in, which is automatically almost all of the CME that I need for the year. And I just take it to work and I read through between patients. I do the quiz, I log the CME. And I just feel like it's just such a great way to stay connected because I live in an area where there are tons of PAs. It's very PA friendly. We have lots of PA programs in the state of Pennsylvania. So I'm sort of surrounded by other PAs and by physicians who get it. And still, when you're practicing, it's easy to feel like you can go days without seeing someone else, and you're seeing your staff and you're seeing your patients, but you're not necessarily feeling connected to other people who truly get it in terms of what it's like to be a boots on the ground, clinically practicing, PA in your specialty or your area. So it's cool that it provides this connection to other people in those areas. Awesome. So if people are listening and they want to find out more, we'll link a bunch of these resources and references in the show notes. But if they want to join AAPA, they want to get these benefits, where's the best place for them to go?
Definitely check out the website, aapa.org. And you can see all of the different areas of our resources. There's an area called Member Central, which guides you into the different levels of membership. And I'll just mention one added pitch too, which is that we now have 3 levels of membership for PAs. We have a professional, a plus, and a premium membership. So if you are interested in different membership options that include even more CME than our core membership level, the professional, plus includes all of the on-demand CME from our smaller specialty meetings throughout the year, like our family medicine on-demand, hospital medicine on-demand, etc. And that's only $200 more than the $295 professional membership. So it's a very good value. And then lastly, our premium membership is $995 annually. That includes all of the CME from the plus category, plus on-demand conference CME, which is a huge package of CME that we release annually. And it also includes registration to the annual conference. So for $995, you can get a whole lot of value out of attending annual conference, having that fun experience with your peers, getting a ton of CME throughout the year as well. So I'll just offer that because I know PAs who are looking for more CME as a part of membership, those are some great options to consider as well.
It's so interesting that you say that because I was this week looking at upgrading because I have boards coming up and I practice in a very niche specialty and they're not going to ask me any questions about my specialty on the boards. And so I've been thinking about how I can access general CME, get the credit for CME, and also use that as part of like my year 1 of 2 years of board prep. So I was thinking about upgrading. So thank you for breaking that down for me and also for our listeners.
Wonderful.
Thanks, guys, for coming on. I really appreciate you guys sharing some of these resources. And it's my hope that people listening feel inspired to join or to be more involved and leverage their membership.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having us. And as Kelsey mentioned, feel free to email us if you have any questions anytime. We'd be happy to help and help you make sure you're getting the most out of your membership.
Thanks, Tracy.
What an important reminder that community and connection and the opportunity for CME, mentorship, sponsorship, career and professional growth exist on the other side of joining the AAPA. Think about adding a membership to your CME expenditures this year, or if you're already a member, think about how you can get more out of that membership and gain access to some of these awesome resources. That's all for today. This PA is out. Congratulations. You've just joined an awesome club. By listening to a full episode of The PA is In, you are officially on the Unicorn PA team. Welcome aboard. What most team members do is they subscribe to the podcast because that allows them to automatically get the latest episode of the show. The life of your dreams exists on the other side of taking action. Keep making small shifts and keep getting better. Your life will improve, your career will soar, and you will have the confidence you need to create your own success. I will see you in the next episode. This PA is out.